got one question for you. Are you ready?
What's going on, everybody? We got the crew together today because we're like, you know what? We have a whole freaking busy summer ahead of us, and we haven't talked to Nichole in probably it's been 5 or 6 months since we've. I mean, I talk to you all the time, of course, but it has been 5 or 6 months since we've had you on. We had Dad and Sako on, so that was pretty amazing. Yeah, Sako was.
Do I know what Sako is?
Yeah, do you know who Sako is?
Oh, tell me the story.
So Sako is Dad's sock, holy sock. He just can't come on, and then he started talking with socks in the middle of our stream.
Yep, that happened.
It was funny. It was like a whole hour of it.
Then he was just making faces most of the time as well, and then by the end of the show,
I missed this.
By the end of the show, we were all making faces.
Yes.
The people that were joining in, they were like, "What the hell is going on?"
You know, Dad.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
So just for reference, there is a Andrew Peters out there, and again, go check him out on SoundCloud. And I don't think he's on Spotify yet with all of his new stuff, but go check him out on SoundCloud. He's pretty cool. But we had him on the year anniversary, and it was really fun. We had some really great people. We're disappointed that we did hear back from South for Winter last week, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, we already had it. We already had it, guys." But thank you, though. We appreciate you guys.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They did. I love them.
They're like, "Yeah, we'd love to have you." We go, "Well, it already happened last month." They're like, "Oh my
Also,
God, I'm so sorry."
Do you know who their manager is, right?
Who is it? It's some person. Yeah, I know.
You should have hit me up.
Yeah, we were like, "Hey, the PR person." Yeah, they're one of our.
I told him, and he was like, "I think I'm not sure if they go through Nichole still. I'm not sure. I'd ask."
That's the one thing that's really. That's the one thing is I don't know, so I'm just like we had last week when we had what am I going to Montgomery?
Holly.
Holly. I was like Hilly. It's not Hilly. I'm like Holly.
No.
So we had Holly, who we absolutely loved, and we were like, "Hey, by the way, she's my sister." At the very end, like after everything was over, I go, "Yeah."
Oh, really?
Yeah, I told her at the very end. I said, "Yeah, by the way, when we were in the green room, she's my sister." Yeah, she's pretty cool people. But yeah, so you know what? We brought you on because we do have a lot going on this summer, and we thought we would kind of bring you on, talk a little bit about some of what is going on for you, of course, in the last 5 or 6 months, because craziness is always going on. Because you got a crazy life. But how are you doing?
Good. I'm trying to get like a background of like Nashville, but maybe it's not gonna work. Since I live in downtown Nashville, I felt like that would be a cooler view than a TV. I feel like it has been very busy because everyone has kind of come out of the woodworks and started to work again. And so people are busy touring and busy putting out music and albums. And so people are busy.
Yeah, that's kind of what we got is there's a lot of business, I mean, I saw Dusty's like summer schedule and you're like, it's like every other day he's doing a gig somewhere. It's good for him. I mean, honestly.
I mean, bravo to his booker. She is amazing.
I have heard that about
Um,
her. Yes.
Shirley, yeah, she's done amazing things. Actually, she just got back to me today. She booked him like, gosh, 11 more shows. So he's on a good, I think he's got 20 to 30 shows. It might be
Wow.
fudging that, but like he's gonna play Rockwood in New York, which is cool. And he's playing a really cool venue in Pittsburgh. I want to say Pittsburgh, yeah. And yeah, he's coming to Nashville too, so we're excited to see him. Hopefully he'll get to the West at some point and maybe down to
And
Florida.
Nice.
yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
cool. That is cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, I'm always hoping to see some of these. Now, I was disappointed because Honey Howler was in town. I was like, I go and look. They're like in town. They're like day of. So it's day of. I get this text at like 5.
Yeah.
Like in 3
Howler
hours,
Honey.
we're gonna be
Howler.
here. Howler Honey. I was like, yeah, Howler
Mhm.
Honey. They're in town. I'm like, I'm gonna go down there. And so it was at a
Yeah.
local venue in Phoenix, so downtown kind of area.
The Lost Leaf.
And
Mhm.
the Lost Leaf, right? So I was really excited. So I go and my son's gonna go with me, and he's 13. So that was the problem. Was then I go and look. So Christy's out of town. I go and look at my bringing my son. You are going with me, Caden. I don't care. We are going to go see one of my favorite bands. And then it has a 21 plus, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. You should do what James, my James, husband James, his dad in the 90s used to just dress him up to look like he was older, even though he was 13 or even younger, and would take him to clubs. And he got kicked out a couple times, but he went, I think his story is like his dad took him to a place in Silver Lake called the Silver Lake Lounge. And I think it was Beck that they went to go see. And his dad was like, I'm going to see him. You're coming with. I don't care. And like dressed him up in this long coat. And like they got past everybody. And then eventually someone was like, get this kid out of here.
I know. I was afraid because then it would be like, oh, I'm a bad dad bringing my kid to a 21 plus bar. But it would have been so cool to go
That's
see
the adventure
them.
of it, too. It'd be like I snuck my kid in. Like,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I snuck my
Would've
kid
had,
into 21 event. We saw you guys.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
Yes.
You know what? I almost probably bet we could have got some back row some sort of thing where we could have been just seeing them from the side or something. And we've been like, hey, we know them. Can we just hang out over here in this little area? We're part of the band, kind of.
Part of it.
I mean, you might have been able to, except I'm not sure what the Lost Leaf looks like. I think it's newer. Unless there's the old Mason jar. Remember that venue, Andy?
That was in Scottsdale.
It's kind of
right?
like no, it was like off Indian School in like the 51.
Yep.
It was kind of where like the 90s rockers would go.
That is where they would
had
go.
they had a 21 section and it was all gated, and then they had an underage section.
See, that's pretty cool.
But they tore it up, and now it's something else. And I feel like it might be the Lost Leaf, but it might not be the Lost Leaf.
That'd be pretty cool if it was, because then I would be able to go, hey, that's cool. There's a lot of really cool music that's in Phoenix, to be honest with you. Now, you have a lot of cool music in Tampa too, in Bradenton.
Yeah.
Tampa, Bradenton
and
area.
everyone I heard is moving to Tampa now too.
So yeah, like I said, that's like the goal, like to see who can go to our first show that we've had on the show. like who can go to whatever artist first.
I know, that's our show. That's our thing. I almost got it. I was like that close.
Different opportunity, but it's like who's gonna be the winner? And like who's gonna go to whose show, right?
Hey,
well, we got Amanda here. We got Caleb here from Mellow Minded. We got Russ
Caleb.
Russ received his. I think Russ said he got a cool shirt today, which I think it's the Mellow Minded shirt that he won.
He did. You know what? I've been talking to Russ all day a little bit. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I'm glad that we were able to. You know, I really have been. We have a really good fan base that just keeps showing up every week, and we just so enjoy it. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to, we feel so blessed that we have people that follow us. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. This is my moment. This is my Andy moment. I went to go bring my mom's Fender. So I got a Fender Strat gifted to me from my mom, her Fender Strat that she loved. And she said, "Andy, I want you to have it." And so me and her kind of complained about the action for years, and it's an 80s Strat. So I was like, it's time to go show it some love. I need to go take this baby down to. So I took him down to Buchanan's, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, it's the Tasty Licks guy." And I go, "Yes. How did you know?"
Yeah.
So
That's
somebody recognized.
great.
That's
I know
awesome.
somebody recognized us from the show and said,
Hey.
"Hey, it's the Tasty Licks guy."
That's awesome.
That's
I felt like
amazing.
I know, I felt
You're a
like a star.
celebrity.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. So then we, of course, I talked too much guitar, but it was really nice to be able to be recognized as, somebody like, "Hey, I'm the Tasty Licks guy." Yeah, I am. I am the guy.
That could get you in
Yeah.
the next show
Um,
that's 21 and up. So it'd be like, just go with your son, be like, hey, that tastes this guy right here. Like, you're talking, you know who I am? You can like show your credentials here.
Let me show
can
you
swipe
Yeah.
on him a little
my
bit. Be like, I'm
badge.
tasty this guy.
I'm
Like,
the
this
Tasty
is my
Licks guy.
son. He's 13. He's coming in.
He's coming in now. That's right.
He's the son of the Tasty Licks guy.
Like this guy, yeah.
He's
I'm
son of
good.
Tasty Licks. That's right. So, what do we have for desserts tonight, guys?
Oh, you
Sure
guys
about
go first. Mine's not really a dessert.
Oh, well, so here's what I still have.
Oh my god, you get your bunny ears.
Yeah, I didn't ever eat this. So this is like, this is a reuse because I'm actually not. I'm on a diet.
Oh.
I'm not even eating dessert. Like we got dessert over. There's some really good pictures on my Instagram of the dessert I am eating. I cheat on like Sundays, but I've been we go down to, we do really cool desserts actually. So we went to this last week. We were at Oregano's, which is like a pizza place here in Phoenix.
I forgot about that place. Yeah.
They have the Pizookie, and this thing was ice cream loaded. I have never gotten so much ice cream on a Pizookie before. It's like a deep dish chocolate chip cookie with ice cream on top of it. So good. It is so good. And so I ate that, and that was I've been going to the gym. I've been doing some healthy stuff. So I was going to bring a orange, but I figured that I'd be booed for oranges.
Yeah.
He brought an orange. I'm being healthy.
Yeah,
I
first
totally am.
First was a banana.
Yeah. You know what? Here's what got me is that me and James, when I ate that whole chocolate bunny at Easter, and we started really reading the facts about how much was really in it, it really shocked me. I was like, holy moly, I'm eating like an entire 15 servings of Reese's bunny in one sitting. That cannot.
Did you hear about that one? Nichole?
Which one? That he did this? No.
Yeah, he ate it was a 1 pound Reese's chocolate Easter bunny.
Yes.
But why?
Because
he didn't even have it on screen. It was like he just had an empty box. He's already ate it.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
You had an empty box?
He said I already ate the 1 pound bunny. I'm like, how are you still like awake?
Yeah. I'd be like, and I need a nap. I mean, pretty much after every time I eat, I need a nap.
Yes. So it was like that was like a wake up call for me. And so I signed up for the gym. Well, actually, I started using the place that I work. Don't want to say it. So anyway, the insurance company that I work for, they have a gym on site. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go down there, check it out. So I started doing like some stuff. And then I officially joined a gym because then I can work out whenever I want. Like after I do this, I'm going to go run for half an hour and then do some weights. And then, I feel so much better. It's been like a month since that whole incident. And I've lost at least 10, 15 pounds. I feel better. So yeah, and I'm older, so it's like I have to be a little bit more conscious of that because weight actually does make a huge impact on you as you get older.
Yeah. And I would say it's kind of always been a battle for our family, maybe.
I think so. I think me and Dad have that same genetics where we'll go up and down. He'll lose a ton of weight, and then he'll go back to eating McDonald's and junk food, and then he'll
I
be
mean, I
like,
feel like that's
"Oh,
everybody in the United States. Like we are just conditioned. I will tell you a good story. Maybe it's a good story, maybe not. When
yeah,
I was in Paris, I mean, I was like 31 and, living in LA, you're out all the time with shows. So kind of a party girl. And, we were going out every night, having drinks. We met some friends and we asked them to take us around. So they took us around and we went to this beautiful park and they have this venue there and everyone's drinking. And at the end of the night, you're hungry. You're like, oh, I need some substance. Like, where's a burrito, which is what I normally would eat, or a burger? And they were like, what? They're like, no, you get cheese and bread. And they did, like, at this venue, there was like this beautiful little area that had like cheeses and breads. And you could be like, yeah, make your own charcuterie board for like your midnight snack after you've been drinking. And honestly, that's a lot healthier than being like burrito, So
hot dog, hot dog
yeah,
guy."
or
Yes.
especially the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so different, in the States where you just kind of have everything. And it's very fatty. I mean, I live in Nashville. It's very fatty. And the portion sizes, like you talk about oreganos. I mean, I've been there a couple times and their salads are like literally 6 servings for a whole family, maybe 12 servings, who knows?
They are, and that's the one thing that I started realizing that I didn't need to eat as much, and that's what I'm working on is portion control, because those are the things. Like, it's okay to go to McDonald's, but it's not okay to have 2 hamburgers and the large size fries. Like, every once in a while, it's okay to go there.
It's like
It's
every
just
day.
but it's not every day. It's definitely
Yeah.
a treat. It's definitely like eat more at home, eat better food, less portions of it. And so that's what I'm starting to try to really get into. And, and the desserts will definitely be able to be had. I just need to I definitely need to lose the initial weight because I've gained way too much weight over the years. And then once I get there, then I could probably eat a little bit more, but be very more cautious. Right now I'm in that let's get deficit, let's get the deficit going.
I mean, I also think like there's this whole movement of like just being like, hey, stop the diet culture because you like love who you are. I mean, granted, if you feel bad, sure, do it makes you feel good. But to be like, I need to look like this skinny little thing, it's like, I don't know how appropriate that is to
and that's not what and I'm totally not
Yeah.
looking for that. So when I go to the gym, I'm trying to just lose the fat. I feel better. I honestly feel better. And I was telling James, it's like meditation for me. It's like you go to the gym. I feel happy after I get done. I feel like less anxious. I have a lot of I feel very joyful. And for like the next 3 or 4 hours, I'm in a really great mood. And so that to me is well worth it because that means I got the anxiety out, the day's anxiety or get that going, get rid of the anxiety from the work week or work day. And then, it just feels good to be able to just spend some time on yourself, just me time.
Yeah.
Even if I bring my son, even if I bring Caden, it's still just me time.
Do you? Aw.
I do. Yeah. He likes going to the gym. He's actually goes with his brothers more than he goes with me. But he's like all of them were doing it for a while. So it kind of just set me on the path to go, maybe I should really think about it. And then also Christy's had a lot of health issues. So I'm just like, I need to be healthy too. I need to stop saying you need to be healthy. I need to be healthy, and just start being a good example to the kids and to myself, there's no point in being mentally and spiritually fit if you're not physically fit too. So that's where I'm kind of going right now. So yeah, probably more healthy desserts, but I am looking forward to finding some desserts that are more healthy, but still like something really cool, like a chocolate chip cookie, but with using something else as an alternative to sugar or something,
I have so many of those recipes. Just ask me and I'll send them to you.
I figured that was the case. So I figured I would hit you up because I figured you had a ton of those.
Yeah.
And the other thing I noticed is that I can't eat wheat very much. Like I'm not good with the wheat stuff. So Yeah, I have to
I
try
feel like that's everyone. I think there's just a food thing in general because I'm like, how come everybody all of a sudden has a food intolerance to everything? I feel like it's just our food nowadays.
I think it's enriched with a bunch of stuff that wasn't there before, and it's all GMO'd,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. James,
So
what did you bring?
that's where I was going.
Yeah. Unhealthy version of chocolate chip cookies. So
Oh, it's still
Ooh.
good. Still good.
So-
Still good.
That looks
Yeah.
good. I'll see. I'll show you what I have, but it's not really dessert. It's kind of a meal. But I also do have these cookies that look really good. I don't know if you can see. Sorry. This is like a take on lasagna, but it's with zucchini noodles
Oh, yes.
and mozzarella, which I haven't eaten cheese in a long time, but it's good. And then tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then beef that's like mixed with cream cheese.
Oh, yes.
But it's actually really good.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you know what
So
the
that's
substitute?
my dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we did zucchini pasta. We have a pasta maker
Mhm.
thing. We made that the other day.
Spiraler.
Yeah, spiraler, right. So we go and make this, and our entire family was like, okay, what are we going to do with it? We're not even going to heat up we're just not going to heat them up. We're just going to use the hot sauce, put it on the noodles that we made with this spiraler.
Oh,
And we
okay.
did it, and it tasted so good because it heats it because it was
Yeah.
really thin that it heated up
Okay.
the zucchini just well enough
Good.
that it was so good. I was like, I don't notice the difference, that I didn't end up with the stomachache I had like on Sunday after I made
Yeah.
regular pasta. And I'm so disappointed because we grew up my mom's Italian, so we grew up with a lot of pasta, a lot of really good spaghetti.
Every other day was pasta night.
Yeah. So maybe that's my stomach is rebelling from pasta days. But mom used
Although
to make.
there's this stuff. Go
ahead.
ahead. I'll see if
No,
I
go
can
ahead.
bring. No, go ahead. Well,
But
I gotta find it.
my mom used to make some of the best like I used to come home and think about pasta landica, which was my mom's favorite
yeah.
like soup. Oh yeah, I love that.
Uh-huh.
It's like home cooking food. And then we'd make, instead of like Christmas turkey or something, or for Thanksgiving, we would do a lasagna. So it was super
We
good.
did, yeah.
It was so good.
This brand is actually, it doesn't have corn in it, and it doesn't have anything bad in it, but that brand.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen that before. I'll have to check.
That's nice, sorry. Yeah.
Bonza.
It's actually really good. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Recommend as like a substitute, but
Yeah. So I am going to show you. So I'm going to show you guys something really cool that I was talking to some people. I want to show off. So my tasty food for the day is actually a tasty guitar that I have. This is my my brother-in-law, who is pretty awesome, suggested I go get a Telecaster. And so I got a Telecaster, but this is a crazy one. So this one was made in China probably about 10 years ago, and from a company called Axel. So Fender did a deal before they closed down the shop. And this thing is incredible. It has a Telecaster pickup, which is the standard thing that Fender made for years. It had a Telecaster pickup. And then it has a Strat pickup as the middle pickup. And then it has a double humbucker that can turn into a P90. So it is like a crazy Telecaster. Like you don't find anything like this. So I love it because it's so versatile. But what I thought is I would be like, hey, I'm going to throw a tasty lick at them today. So I brought out the guitar to show a tasty lick.
Nice.
Let me see if you guys can you guys hear it?
Sounds good.
Little
Nice.
tasty lick. Yeah, so that's the. So I'll show you. So that is the Telecaster pickup, but the regular lead pickup is pretty cool too. So that's the lead. And then there's the middle one, which is the Strat. My hand got a little nervous there for a second. Sorry. Hey, so that's my new Telecaster I've been playing for a while.
Caleb's digging the picking.
Yeah, I get nervous I'm still nervous about playing in live. So I told Nichole that I started I'm so nervous before playing. I'm so nervous. I knew still. I'm still not. I've been playing a long time, but I'm still just. But I've been playing recently a lot more, and I'm still nervous to play in front of people because I've never played in front of people. Nichole can say I played in front of my bed and in my room for 10, 15 years. So there was no audience except for maybe some flies that got in. So I was like, so I'm really nervous. So I've been playing on TikTok, and the other day I'm just like, I do this like every Thursday or Friday. I just get on and just try to be less nervous, and I sweat up a storm because I get so nervous. And it's really, I guess it's kind of good. But the other day I'm like playing in TikTok. I'm just sitting there playing. I think I was playing Mom Strat, which is the reason why I went and brought it in because I didn't like the action on it. I go and look, and after I'm done, it like doesn't tell you any stats. I saw a lot of people coming in and out, and it just like being crazy. And I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of people hitting hearts and stuff. I go and I close down the thing, and this is when you hear the stats. 36,000 people saw my live on TikTok. I'm like, it like goes 99% of the people, you did better than 99% of the people in your genre. And then I'm like, you have done 35,600 better than your last live. I'm like,
that's amazing.
I'm just letting you know that I'm TikTok famous now. And on my one live, I am TikTok famous.
That's where people are recognizing you from.
That's right. They say, hey, there's that Andy the Tasty Licks guy. He played his Mom Strat for like an hour, and 35,000 people saw it. I was like,
hey.
It sounds really crazy because I'm like, I used to live in small towns that were 2,000 people. That sounds crazy, but on the internet, that's nothing. And it's probably like some of it could be like the same people seeing the same live over and over again. But
that's either 0 or 35,000. I mean, that's
the way it is. It's crazy.
It's a big difference.
So true.
Yeah.
I know. I was just having this conversation with a band I work with, and TikTok is such an interesting platform in the fact that like it can do really great things randomly and then just like nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do people actually want to watch? Like, if you're a band, like I would love to know like your audience, like if you like music, like what do you want out of a band? What do you want to see from them? Do you want silly videos? Do you want to see them play? Do you, I'm curious, being in the business side of it, just like, what do people want to see? What catches your attention? Curious if anyone has any comments on that.
That'd be interesting to see what people think, because that's the problem. That's the weird thing. It's like, okay, so I've played this thing Thursday or Friday nights for like probably about 2 or 3 months. I get maybe 500 people, 600 people. That was good for me. I was like, that's probably that's really awesome. And then I play one show for an hour, and there's 35,000 people in it. And I didn't.
You played for an entire hour?
Yeah, because it's like my practice time. I play like 3 hours a day sometimes on like Fridays and Saturdays.
You're videotaping yourself for an hour?
I'm just sitting here just jamming, just
For an hour though.
For an hour.
On
It's
TikTok, you're on it for an hour.
Hour and 9 minutes.
Okay, so that actually might make sense why it went to so many people. Because if you're on it for that long,
Maybe
Yeah,
it,
the more you're on, the more you're on, the more people watch.
yeah.
I think I've been on like for the most maybe 20, 30 minutes. I think that's before. This was just like I forgot how that I was still on there because I was just like jamming and playing and trying to think of songs. What I do is I play the what does this sound like? So I turn this little knob back there. There's a little knob and it has like different because this is a modeler amp, so it has like 1,000 different tones you can pull out. So I'll sit there and just turn the knob and what does that sound like? And then some of them I go, I'm not even going to play that at all. But then other ones I'll be like, oh, that sounds like a song that I know. And then I'll just play that. Or it will sound, oh, that sounds like a bluesy thing. I can go do some bluesy thing with that. Or some metal thing, because they'll have some metal settings or Pantera. Here's Pantera. So then I'll play a Pantera lick.
Okay.
So I just sit and do that for like, so it's kind of like you're playing different riffs off songs the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and for me, it's just like I'm messing with my amp and my guitar.
Yeah.
Playing like, hey, what does that sound like? Oh, let me play this and see what it sounds like, and messing around.
Even when you're doing random stuff like that, people enjoy people still enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? It's just.
Yeah. It seemed like it. And I got people saying and people hearting. I mean, I got like 12 gifts that I can't redeem anywhere. But I got like 12 gifts, like 80, I think it was like 90 new followers, 80, 90 new followers. And then
just for that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Maybe that's the key. If you're in a band, play for an hour.
Just play for an hour. Just play. But I had to play but I was playing random stuff. I really was. And I see but I wasn't even, I just mess with, it's like time to mess with my amp and play some songs that I know how to play on my amp and see if I can, just play around. And most of it's like some jazzy stuff, some bluesy stuff, some heavy metal stuff. Like I just know enough riffs and stuff to play around on it and see what it sounds like. So it's just really fun. But yeah, I don't know what I have TikToks that I'm like, I mostly do reactionary TikToks just to be fun on TikTok. They're goofy. It's stupid. But I'm just like, somebody didn't even know I talked. They're like, you talk? I'm like, yeah, I just do those reaction videos because I think they're funny. To me, it's like, hey, look, this really funny person said that funny thing, or something like spiritual, or something really kind of like uplifting. Sometimes I'll do those. I really like those people that like give money to people. Sometimes that's kind of cool.
Like you watch them give money.
Yeah, they're like, hey, can I borrow $10? And then they'll give him $10, and he'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you $500 for giving me $10. It was like it looked like this guy was like homeless, but he gave what he could give. And you're just like, oh, that is so cool. I love that. It kind of gives me little chills that there's good people out there,
Yeah, there's this guy who does that.
Just go on, like when you go on TikTok, you can see there's bands that play music. I mean, you kind of like have to go with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of, what is that, like a shadowing kind of thing? Like they're playing music, but you kind of like join in, like what they're playing as well. Something like that. I've seen videos like where they've started playing music and like that person is playing whatever instrument to kind of join along with what they're playing.
Oh, I've seen that guy. Yeah.
So that'd be cool too.
I like that. Yeah, that's cool. I've seen. There's one guy that goes into Guitar Center, or he goes into different guitar stores and acts like he can't play. And they're all like trying to they're all making fun of him, but then he just shreds it, and they're like, what just happened? Do I hold it like this? How do I hold it? And they're all just like, here's
up on chords or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Then he starts playing like some Stevie Ray Vaughan or something. Yeah. That's what I like the videos where there's some guitar centers that actually will shut you down for playing. Like most of them, like, if I play this riff, will you stop me from playing it? They're like, no, that's just like a misnomer. Nobody does that. But there are some guitar centers where the guy goes, stop playing that. We don't want to hear that anymore. That's the forbidden riff. Don't you know that? But I think it's for
a riff,
the
or like, is it? Oh,
Stairway to Heaven. It's Stairway to Heaven.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's Stairway to Heaven.
It's
like Stairway to Heaven or Iron Man or
Leonard
whatever.
Skinner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like Freebird.
No, probably Sweet Home Alabama.
Or
There's like
The
a
other one
list of
that's
them.
easy. Yeah. Also, there's like, what is it? The House of.
Oh,
There's like an.
House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I think that one is easy to play, right?
It's so chord
Like
wise
the
it is.
number one
Yeah.
guitar, like learning songs or whatever.
It is, and it's really fun, and people like to jam to them.
Yeah.
Like I actually played that the other day, but I had like this. I played the chords through, and I had like some sort of weird, like it was like a new agey kind of like it had like a warpy sound. So you play that song with it, and it was like warpy, and it was really cool. I was like, that's what I'll play that song to, and people were like loving the hell out of it. They're like, I know that song. I know that song. I kind of maybe it's warpy.
Smoke on the Water is another one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. My wife thinks that that's literally all I play. She's like, "Are you gonna play Smoke on the Water again?"
Is that her joke with you? She's
That
like,
is totally like So then she shredded it. The guy that I bought my amp from. She's like, "Are you gonna play Smoke on the Water? Is that what you're gonna play now?" I'm like, "No." My wife just goes, "Everything sounds like Smoke on the Water to me. I don't know. I don't know what you're playing. I mean, I bet maybe you're good, but you sound like Smoke on the Water to me."
That could be a good running joke though too. Anything that you play, just be like, that sounds like a little bit like
You're
Smoke
like,
on the
that is great. That you
That's
played
totally
Smoke on the Water so well.
You do. You play it so well, and you're like, I don't even know how to play Smoke on the Water. And she's like, but it sounds so much like it though, all the time. Smoke on the Water. I said, do you know how complicated that piece was? And she's like, Smoke on the Water. And then, so in the middle of the day, like I'll be playing in my little. This is my studio / guitar room / everything else room. And so I'll just get this video, Smoke on the Water. It'll be like the video of Smoke on the Water. Here's Smoke on the Water, Andy. Get out of here. Get out of there.
That's so funny.
Get out of there. I can hear it again. Yes.
You taught me how to play when I was 16. You taught me how to play Weezer's Undone Sweater song.
I know. You know what? The other day I was looking for 80s song, and I was like, hey, what's the song that I taught Nichole? Because I thought she's coming on the show. Maybe I can go play that song again. I was thinking
80s,
that
90s.
Is that 90s? Oh, okay. 90s. The years of whatever decade it was.
Do you still know how to play it, Nichole? I mean, Andy?
I do not remember it. I was thinking I couldn't remember what it was because I couldn't remember what song it was. I was like, what was the song that I taught her how to play? And then I was thinking we had a song. So me and Nichole had the NXS song, Never Tear Us Apart.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was forced to listen to it over and over again because I'd played that song.
But I also like NXS.
They're good band.
I like the new wave 80s music a lot. Like, love NXS, Tears for Fear, which they're on tour. I heard, and like, gosh, who else? Duran Duran. I mean, I love all those. The Church is one of my favorite bands.
Church is good.
Yeah, I mean, I can like. It's funny. My husband James. I feel like I have to say. He will be like, how do you know all these songs? And I'm like, I think it's because like Andy, you and I would just go to our room and listen to music all day. Like we would get home from school and just listen to music. That's all we like did. I would like tape record it or listen to my radio or play like radio shows or whatever,
Yep. Totally.
I mean, we're the MTV generation, VH1. Like that's what you did when you got home.
And then we'd have like you tape things off the radio, and then you would play it over and over again, and then you do mixtapes. That was my favorite thing. That was my way of showing my romance to the girlfriend. I would send them mixtapes. I had this
you would copy and paste it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there was
over and over.
There was kind of, but there was this girl. You remember? So I had a girlfriend in California that I must have sent like 20 mixtapes to. Yes.
Yeah.
So this girl named Casey, she
you can't say her name. What is she like?
It's out there.
It's out there.
Yeah, he's Tasty Licks guy. Like
I'm Tasty Licks guy. Nobody knows. I have not talked to her in 20, 30 years. So, and the last time I talked to her, she didn't remember who I was. So that's was really.
That's not shocking.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like years later, right?
I
So-
remember everybody that I've ever dated. Give me a break.
Okay,
What's
yeah,
up, Ellie?
yeah. So anyway, so I was sitting here
She was
20.
in Riverside, I think.
She
Not
was. She
LA.
was in. Yeah. So she was outside of River. She went to UCR, but she was from San Diego. But I sent her so many mixtapes, and I was like, oh, "This is my love." And then I would like talk on them. This is my love song to you. And it was like I probably had about 50 tapes, but it was like always Guns N' Roses. Don't cry. Don't cry.
So emotional.
Yeah, Jesus said she's gonna come find you now.
She is. She is going to come find me. She's going to be like, "Hey, you talked about me on your YouTube channel. I know who you are, Tasty Licks Dude. Like if you see me out in the streets, just call me Tasty Licks Dude. Don't call
Gary
me."
said that you need to represent Alley Cat.
That is true. I need to rep
Who's
rally.
Alley Cat?
Gary
Alley Cat's
Lewis.
Gary.
Oh.
Yeah, Gary. Yeah, he's one of my good friends. Yeah, awesome friend.
I think, yeah.
So
Like,
I
know
still
Gary,
have.
don't I?
Yeah, you know Gary.
Yeah.
So Gary is my.
Is it the same Gary I know, Gary?
It's the
Sorry.
same Gary. Yep, same Gary.
Okay. Hi, Gary.
Hey Gary, what's up, Gary?
But yeah, Gary. No, but yeah, I love. So Alley Cat is like my rep. Is like if I was to go to Beard Oil, like if I like those are the only ones I buy now. Once I got out of the community, I was like I stopped buying stuff because I buy gear now. But if I do buy something, it's only Alley Cat stuff because his stuff is so good. So, and also I'm for good friends with the dude. So yeah.
So is it like www.alleycat.com? Is that it? What's the?
I think that's his. I think it's alleycat.com.
I'm like, you
Alley Cat
should probably look
Beard?
it up. Give him some promotion.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, it's good stuff.
AlleyCatBeard.com.
Alleycatbeard.com. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
10 out of 10 recommend.
Because it's really good. Because it is really good.
Good.
I bought I normally am like I said you have such a good selection of stuff that I don't need to go anywhere else anymore. So I can just go buy new guitars and then just know I can go to this one place to go take care of the beard. Though if you notice, I shaved it down. I'm trying to look cool like the kids, I went in there and I got.
Oh, you need a mullet then. That's what's cool, like the kids.
I know what happened with that. It's like retro.
There's somebody in the chat for you.
Is it Casey?
I can't see it.
Is it Casey? She's come. Oh,
Casey. Is it on YouTube? I can't see this.
Yeah.
It is.
Because Casey's a long lost love.
Nice.
As I heard you talk about me, big boy. Hey there, Andy. I still have all the muffin. That's funny. Yeah, Andy giggling over there. Look at that.
I know.
I needed a good laugh.
Yeah.
I didn't forget you. I remember you. I was so infatuated with this girl. That's the funniest thing about it is that I was so infatuated. I remembered all about her. So I call her up. I'm getting a divorce. So I got divorced from my first ex-wife. And so I'm like, hey, I'm getting a divorce. And so I call her up and I call her mom. And then she goes, oh, here's her number. So I call her up and I'm
Did
like,
her mom remember you?
She did. So she So I call Casey up and she's in Northern California and she's like, who are you? You can hear the screaming baby in the background and I'm just like, yeah, why did your mom give me your phone number? I think I know why your mom gave me your phone number. I think I know why your mom gave me your phone number. I will never call again. You're right. Thank you.
Yes. So Casey said that, the laugh of our youth. So much love. This is my first ex-wife, you harlot.
Yes. That's true. So anyway, Jay Cruz, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, you know what's so funny is that's what the years, it's been now 30 plus years since all of that. Oh my goodness.
We're old.
I remember thinking about that. I was like, you know what? It doesn't seem that long ago, but it's been 30 years. I mean, we were like, I remember sitting in there going, I remember like high school seeming like it lasted forever.
Forever. And then like 25, it starts going fast, and then 30, and then you're like, what is happening?
And then you're
How am I
40.
60? Just kidding. Yeah.
I'm like almost 50. I turned 50 in like a year and a half. And I'm just like, when did this happen? When did I get a 25-year-old? So Charisse, my oldest daughter, turned 25 like on June 1st. And I'm just like,
Gosh, I was like so little when she was born.
I know. I was so thinking that. I was like, who was at her birth? And I was like, Nichole, when she was like in high school. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And it was like I walked in on her having a baby, and I was like 16. And I was like,
I don't ever do this.
Like no doctor stopped me, nothing. I was just like, hey, you guys, like you're having a baby.
I remember
like,
that.
I'm not gonna have a baby. Can't do that.
Casey wants to know if you have those leopard print thongs.
They
were so sexy.
Nichole has a funny story, but I can't tell the funny story on air.
Which
because
one?
There was Marcy. Marcy was the best.
Marcy, I'll tell a funny story, and it will mostly be about myself. Marcy came, my dad was like, yeah, bring your girlfriend to Christmas, which I was never allowed to bring my boyfriend to Christmas. But so so she comes to stay with us, and I'm like, this girl stayed a long time, like 2 weeks, maybe.
Yes.
The whole, I mean, you might have had a month off. I think she was there like pretty much the whole month.
Yes.
But she so I think I was 14, and at that time, I lived in Phoenix. I was bored, and basically my friends would shoplift. I know this is terrible. And so I was like, sure, I'll join you in this shoplifting event, which was dumb. And then like my brother, Andy, is like, hey, I'm going to pick you up from the mall. And so you picked my best friend and I up. And then you were like, Marcy was like, I want a poinsettia. We have to have poinsettias for Christmas. And I was like, I don't even know what a poinsettia is. We definitely didn't have that growing up. And so we stop at a supermarket, and my best friend and I shoplifted, which was terrible. And all of a sudden this cop is like, hey, excuse me, do you guys have something you want to tell me? And I was like, no. And he's like, I think you do. And I was like, no, I don't. He's like, walk your ass up. And it was like, first of all, it was the 90s, so I was wearing those very large baggy pants. So it was like easy to shove things in them. And so we get up and so we're like walking up, and my brother and Marcy like are screaming across the supermarket, what are you doing with my sister? And then like, I was like, oh my God, everyone's staring at us. And then like, of course, my brother had to go home, get my parents. It was a mess. Never shoplifted again. I learned my lesson. But Marcy, the whole time, because I was grounded, kept coming into my room being like, let's have this therapy chat. And I was like, I'm not into this. Like, I just, And then she also, I think after my brother left, she like left some garment behind. And I was like, because I used to also go in his room after he left college and be like, what did he leave? These pants are great. I'll wear these pants, Yeah.
I think he found it was a bra. That's what she found.
It was
she
definitely
found
a bra.
It was Marcy's bra.
A very large bra. Yes. Yeah. She was very invasive. And I remember my parents just being like, God, is this girl going to go home yet? But Dad was always like, yeah, keep her here for the whole month. And then like, God forbid I even had a boyfriend. They'd be like, no dates, Nichole.
Oh, that is true. Well, see, you ended up with a better life. So yeah. Oh, Casey's still saying stuff. Casey's still saying stuff.
She's missing you.
She is.
She misses that.
She misses the.
I wonder how many kids she has.
You know what? It's interesting is that I have never, like, very few people you ever look up, but I never looked her. After that moment, I was like, didn't try to look her up on Facebook. I'm just been like, yeah, that was enough. Yeah, thanks for not pretending like you didn't remember who I was. You dated me for 3 years in college.
Up people. I like looking up. Like, I'm friends with a lot of my high school like people I went to high school with, and I like seeing what their life is like.
I like that part. Yes.
Probably after the age of like 35, I was like, oh, this is fun to see what people are up to. Before that, I was annoyed with it all.
Right. Now that you're like now in your 40s, that's exactly what you do. You're like, hey, what happened to that person?
Who's in their 40s? I'm not in my 40s. I'm 31 forever.
Wow.
That's right. She's 29. She's 29.
Yes, exactly. Now 31, 29 is the lying year. You can't say 29.
Oh, that's right, because it always is the lying year. You can't like.
Yeah.
I do have the people that always tell me, you don't look like you should have a 30-year-old. And I'm like, well, he's my stepson. But I do have a 25-year-old, and they're still like, you still don't look like you should have any grandkids whatsoever. I'm like, yeah, but I do. So, yeah.
I know.
Like, yeah.
Makes me feel old.
Yeah.
You got married and had kids very young, though.
I did. I'll give it that. I a day after I graduated from college. So, yeah.
Yeah, you got married and then like baby right away.
That's right.
You're 22?
20. Yeah, I was like 23, I think, when she was born. But yeah.
Also, we have a brother who just turned 21.
I know. So my brother Nicholas is just turned 21. So yeah, if you do the math, that doesn't make any sense. And people always go, isn't that younger than the 25-year-old you just mentioned? Yes, it's younger than the 25-year-old I just mentioned. So, but it's
all good.
It's all good. It's a big, happy American family. So, but then we have,
Sure.
yeah, you know what? He looks like he's doing well. So Nicholas, who is 21, he's a gamer, but he's also doing audio visual. So he's really involved in the audio visual world. So really cool.
Yeah. All an artistic family, all in one.
Very artistic, like crazy artistic, which is crazy that I do this is like my side gig. I don't do anything with creative except for play guitar, and I love doing that. But otherwise, that I'm IT engineer, I'm straight laced. I do that for a living. But there's nothing artistic about what I do at work, really. But this is always fun, and I enjoy that part of me that's still out there. I didn't make a living doing it, but I don't know. That's so weird because I didn't think you were going to be. I thought you were going to be a teacher. So you ending up in PR was like in the music industry still is bizarre to me because I remember going, she's going to do she's going to do marine biology. So, Well,
it was the 90s. That's what I wanted to do. And it's back now, by the way. Everyone wants to be a marine biologist now.
Because they've watched all that Blue Planet. I watched that the other day. It's so good.
Yeah.
Have you guys
I
watched
think
that?
It also has to do with Blue Planet's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched that the other day, and it's like so mellow, and you're just like, that dude is like the best voice ever for doing
and the music.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, that's like you guys had Silas on, right? Silas Hyde.
Yes.
And he does the soundtrack for like Chef's Table and a bunch of other things too. I mean, he did like seasons and then episodes of it. But literally, like that show is gorgeous. It's shot amazingly, and the music just makes you fall in love with that show.
Yeah,
right.
Which is like Blue Planet. It's the same thing. It's beautiful, visually aesthetic, pleasing.
Just nice.
Yeah.
Silas also does like Google things. He does Google stuff. Like he's like, hey, here's an ad. I'm like, that's the current ad in Google. What are you talking about? That's like the thing for Google. So I go and show everybody at work, hey, by the way, this is a guy I interviewed. I know this guy. He did the Google thing. And they're all like, oh, that's so cool that you know cool people. I'm a cool person. I'm a tasty lick dude.
Jay Cruz asked, what do you do for fun in Arizona?
We avoid the heat. We eat a lot of Mexican food. That's what we do mostly.
Oh, I'm so jealous. That's true.
We do
there's also lakes. There's lakes. I used to go kayaking all the time.
Did you really?
There's like 5.
I was thinking about doing. So I'm thinking about doing the Salt River, and I live like literally a mile. I live a mile away from the Salt River. So I was like, maybe I could do kayaks over there, and because there's also a lake over there, Saguaro Lake. So I was like, yeah. So I was thinking I need to go over there and do that. So I'm thinking that will be my activity, but I think that I just started buying too many guitars, so I think I'm gonna have to wait for the kayaks.
I mean, that's what James and we have inflatable kayaks. I mean, I've had mine for like 20 years, but I was like really excited about the summer here doing kayaking. And then someone, yes, the other day at a restaurant, our server who we love, she told me that she was doing stand-up paddle boarding, and she was like going like this with the paddle, and some like snake came out of the water. And I was like, nope, done. I'll wait till I move back home.
Yeah, when you paddleboard and a coppermouth comes out of the water for you, yeah, you're just like, I'm done. This is
what are they called? No, it's the scary ones, the water moccasins.
water
Ugh.
moccasins. Yes,
Ones that are
yes.
like a dinosaur on the water, just like.
Yeah, I've seen enough of those. They're scary. I lived in Missouri for a while,
Oh,
and they're
that's
like
right.
they
They're in
lived in.
Florida too.
They're everywhere down in the south. They're not here.
Ugh.
And
No.
like people think, oh, there's all these poison. I mean, we do see you got bit by scorpions at that one house,
Mhm. Yeah.
but or
Stung.
stung.
But it's not
'cause-
that. It's really not that bad. It felt like. I mean, and it felt like cactus, and then my leg went numb. Like I was like, how do I have cactus needle all over me? And then it was numb.
Yeah,
And
which
then I
is
was
still
fine.
not. But then you're fine. That's the whole thing. Nobody dies from scorpion bite or stings
Unless you're
But-
allergic. Yeah.
unless yeah. But you never know, so that's the problem.
Right.
But it's like bee stings.
But
same thing.
James, you have got all the crazy animals.
He does have all the crazy. He has like alligators and
All the
yeah.
poisonous ones.
You guys
and all
also have crocodiles.
Yep.
Saltwater crocodiles. There's actually this really cool podcast called what is it? National Parks After Dark. And they've got some episodes about Florida you should listen to. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
really
that's
cool
great.
podcast. Yeah. Highly recommend. James, what are you up to? Working?
Yeah, just been doing a lot of work, especially recently. They're doing a lot of prep for, like today was a lot of prep for Father's Day.
Oh, right.
Next couple of days, probably not tomorrow, but probably Thursday. I'll be kind of whipping up a lot of cookies because they asked me to do like all the cookies and stuff. So I'm doing like 3 different types of cookies and some brownies and stuff. So
Ooh.
getting those ready for Sunday and getting them prepped up and rolled up and put them in the cooler, let them stay in there for a couple of days, and they can kind of bake them off. So I'm not sure if I'm working,
Sounds awesome.
but yeah, other than that, yeah, just kind of working and doing some house stuff and getting some house stuff together and fixed up. Yeah.
Andy, are you on your phone?
I'm seeing somebody texted me something from work. So
Casey.
Casey did. Yeah, sorry guys. No, I was listening and I was just like, ooh, got to make sure that work isn't needing something.
Oh, isn't that everyone's life now? It's like you can't just be off of work. You have to be like, it's 10 o'clock. I mean, I worked till 2 a.m. last night.
I was gonna say that, and that's kind of crazy hours. But you have shows that go on until it could be like you book somebody and then something could go awry, I guess, or there could be a lot of work.
That's very true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, there's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
I know people think like, oh, music industry, it's so glamorous, and it's not.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and that's the whole thing is that, and I think that even to get, and I've had so many conversations about this with so many people recently about how hard it really is to get made, to break through. And then even if you break through, it doesn't mean necessarily, and I was talking to Silas about this, even if you make it, you get that breakthrough hit, that still doesn't mean that you're making any money. It still doesn't mean you have to have like a longevity of success to make any money. You can't just have a breakthrough hit and then that's the end. That just means that that now you have to work even harder to keep it. And it's difficult. This is like, how random is it that I get 35? I mean, I'm just a silly guitarist playing on my amp, but it's just random. You have no idea what's going to hit and what's not going to hit. You don't have any rhyme or reason. There's a million artists out of there. I mean, I go on TikTok and there's at least, I can scroll through how many people are doing the same thing that I was doing, just playing guitar.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. They're just playing guitar too. And there's some people that get a lot of hits and there's people watching them. And then there's some that don't have anybody, and they're just sitting there like two people playing. He's playing really well. It's so hard, and there's so many musicians. And the thing about it is the internet has brought it out that there's abilities to get your stuff out there into the through social media, through Spotify. It's easy to get into Spotify, but how to get yourself recognized, which is why you go with a Nichole.
Also, people don't understand that you don't just get on Spotify. You have to be with a distribution company.
Right. I knew
the
it was something.
distribution pulls you over. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I only
can't
say that
remember-
because I did have a phone call recently with somebody we're related to about it. And
Yes, I
he
know.
was like, yeah, I'm just going to sign up. I was like, that's not how it works.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. We're related to that person. He might or might not be Sacco as well. So, but yeah, it's crazy. It's just a crazy thing, and then there's nuances. Like just like last week, I know that StreamYard allows you to go restream your last. So we went and did this stream on Monday of last week. So then we were going to release it Tuesday. Polly. So we go and tape it Monday night. We're going to go release it live Tuesday night. We go and release it. StreamYard doesn't allow you to do it unless you have bought their premium $50 package. And then so I'm like, it's too late to go do that now because now it's like right at the time. And then I also thought that you could go do the premiere. No, it's premiere if you upload the video to YouTube, not a live video that you're just putting to public. You can't just do a premiere on that. So I'm like, what the heck? Like they advertise do premiere to make it go live so you can chat with your audience. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. We'll do that. And then you realize, no, the live is the one that you can't do that on. Well, what? So we now have the hiccup. I've moved on from the hiccup, but it was too late to do anything with Holly's.
Yeah, now we know.
But now we know. But it's just frustrating because it's like technology just helps. There's little rules that you have to figure out, like distribution companies. Like you would think, okay, I'm on SoundCloud. Can I just push my music to someplace else? No, you have to go do this other thing. It was like podcasts. You have to go do an Apple podcast is very different than doing it for the rest of the podcasts of the world. You have to have an Apple account for an Apple podcast, even though you can get on Spotify podcast and all the other ones through having just this Anchor thing. You have to go it's like a distribution chain. So it's another distribution thing for podcasts that you have to know how to get into it to be able to hold it. And then they will then push it out to all of the companies. Basically, it's like there's companies that do the distribution and you have to be on their site and then they push it out to all of the major providers.
Yep.
Yes. But you have to know who those are, and they're definitely not always free.
Well, no, they're not free. You have to give them a percentage. Yeah.
Of your money.
Or they ask for like a membership or something. Yeah. But yeah.
And that's the whole thing that's the hidden cost. So you think, okay, well, it's only like, whatever it is. But it's still money that's going outside the pocket, which is why we had that application. What was it called? Python? What was the application?
Oh, for
Phalo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the reason why he was trying to we need to do something about this because nobody's getting paid. None of the musicians are getting paid for Spotify because they have to go and they're losing money to be on Spotify. But it's the only way to get noticed at the same time. It's like a lose.
They're not losing money, but they're not gaining money. And this is the thing, it is a money platform. So, when people are concerned about their followers, it's because you want to get paid. And people forget that it is a paid for service, paying you. Granted, it might be 2 cents, and they're very strict about rules, about putting your music on it and how you get those followers because that gives you money. So
right. And this is the other thing is that there's so many people
don't use
on
bots.
there.
No bots, no third-party
Oh.
bots, because that will get you banned.
That's the other thing so that'll get you banned. And then that's like the YouTube people. Like you can get on YouTube or Instagram and it'll be like, hey, we'll get you 10,000 followers. But
Well,
it'll be
because
bots.
monetizing on YouTube is also money. So like
Right.
you're taking away from other people who are actually getting with
Real.
fake bots. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why they're really sticklers of not Instagram, because Instagram doesn't give you money, but
Right.
YouTube does, and Spotify and Apple and Amazon, those kind of platforms. So
Right.
they're really strict, which they should be if they're giving you money and you're pretending you have followers when you don't.
Right. And that's the one thing that, yeah, it's
Or
all about.
plays,
Right.
streams.
Now,
Yeah.
do you think that there's anybody getting kind of famous off of being able to do Spotify? I know that there's some people that get seen off of YouTube and Spotify, but do you still think it's a viable like solution you have to have that as a band, or do you have to be like, no, that's an option?
No, it's an option. You don't have to have it, but I mean, it's in this day and age, it's kind of like if you don't have social media or these platforms to listen to music, how are people going to find you? They're not listening to the radio in their car,
Yeah.
So it's all about how you can get found and noticed.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And do you feel like the musicians have to be more business owners per se to be able to run a band?
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely have to. Before you even get signed to a label, you have to be your own label.
Right.
And that's just that day and age.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that it's so different than when we were kids, where all you want to do is get in front of the right people who could get you onto a label. And now it's like you have to do all this different stuff to make sure that you have to be you have to be a business, basically. You have to run it like a business.
Yeah, you have to be your own label. But, the other thing is back then we used to have like scouts go to shows, and that was like how you got signed. And now nobody does that. They're just sitting at home being like, which band can I find?
Exactly.
Well,
who has those numbers?
Yeah. Well, that's my question for you, is that I remember when you first were in this business, you used to go to LA clubs to see people. Do you do as much of that anymore? Now it's more just about listening to them and seeing if they're a good fit.
I mean, it's a give or take. I mean, I'm not signing people to a label, but when I want to work with somebody, I tend to find them playing. And I feel like if they can play live really well, then they're great. A manager also can scout too that way. Like I'm a publicist and I manage a few bands. But the way I found them was because I scouted them. I found them and I kind of stalked them and was like, you're amazing. I want to help you, and also like, just because I work in the industry, like it is also the same kind of push and pull with my career. So it's like, it changes all the time. And then it's, if I want to break a band, like it's really hard. It's hard for everybody.
How do you this is the question I have for you. How did you get people that you knew to go to, like this person with this magazine? How did you get the list of people to talk to? Yeah. How did you get your contacts?
I mean, years and years of
that's what
Googling, researching, building a connection with somebody, because obviously those contacts are out there, but if you don't believe in who I'm working with, or if I approach you and you don't know me, sometimes it's harder to get them to do something for you.
Gotcha. So it took a lot of years to be able to know who to talk to, and then gotcha.
I mean, because you've got the standard blogs that everyone wants to be a part of, and the national publications that people want to be a part of, and you have to, build a relationship with them. And you have to work with artists that they want to talk about too. So it's not like, Joe Shack band is going to get into Rolling Stone, but Carlos Santana will. So, it's kind of how it works.
Right.
So if my client is Carlos, then he's going to
Maybe.
get into those publications. But if it's, random band on the side, it's really hard to get them to believe. It used to not be that way in like 2010, but ever since Spotify became like a way of proving that people want to listen to you, it's just become this industry thing of being like, oh, well, if they have a lot of fans and they're on Spotify doing all these numbers, then we're going to make money,
That's crazy.
Why. Before it was like, I remember I broke the publicist I worked for when I first started doing PR. I mean, we worked with some really large bands that we got to break. They're huge now, but we got to break them, and that was fun.
Awesome.
It made the stress of PR worth it.
Yeah, that is cool.
It doesn't really work that way anymore.
Who's the biggest band that you've ever broke through?
Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros, Metric. I helped with Mumford and Sons.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, that was like a whole team doing it, but yeah, I mean, the publicists I worked for would just call and be like, hey, I've got this new band. They're going to be amazing. And it was like, a giant artist that got somewhere because he called.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
Check them out. Check out the Edward Sharpe one.
Edward Sharpe and Magnetic Zeros. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
They're indie rock. I worked for a PR firm that was indie rock. So we basically did all the really cool bands. And now I work for a company that does a lot of legacy artists.
We said we could mention Jensen. So Jensen does so they do Carlos Santana. And they do. Who was the other people? Like Stills and Nash.
Kenny Loggins.
Loggins, who now just came out again with Top Gun.
With Maverick.
Yes.
Yeah. We have quite a few. And we also have newer acts too that we work with.
Yeah, I knew you work with some newer acts because, Holly's one of them. So,
yeah, she is.
Yeah.
How was it like when you first got into PR work to where you are now? Like when you first started?
Oh man,
got your first client. You first got your first client to kind of where you are now.
I mean, I worked as a junior publicist for a company called Big Hassle, and that's the one we did mostly indie rock. So I did a lot of tour press, and it's kind of a funny story. But when I left there, they were like, hey, Nichole, how many tours have you been doing? And I was like, 15. And they were like, what? You should have only been doing 3 to 4. But I had no idea. So I was like, 15 sounds fine to me. But I think because I did that and I learned how to organize really well, I work a lot of bands now and I'm okay with it. Like I know how to organize and but that's not ideal. That's a lot.
15 bands. That's crazy.
Yeah. So then and then now it's like, you get into the rhythm of your job and you know exactly what to do. And so now it's like, the hard thing is just when people don't believe in an artist you work with and you're constantly like, listen to me as you're emailing or maybe you don't know if they're going to get your email. Before you used to just call people and be like, hey, I've got this band, you got to check them out. And now no one picks up a phone. So you got to be all about your emails, which is hard.
Which is good because you're an English major. So that just personally lines up with.
Yeah, but when you're working so much, you mess up sometimes, it's not not flawless. Yeah.
But you're still good at it. So, yeah.
So Ellie said, how does it feel to be a most excellent female in the biz?
How does it feel? Was that what it said? It's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But
that's Do you know what's really crazy? And this is something that was brought out. We've heard this several times from several female artists on how hard it really is to be a female musician in this industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think just because the music industry is male dominated. So
yeah. And there's a lot of a lot of businesses, unfortunately, because I hear
Yeah.
that same complaint at my current company, where it's
Tech,
like I
tech
don't.
stuff.
I don't really get taken
No.
seriously. Yeah, tech stuff because it's predominantly
Yeah.
male. And I
Yeah.
don't get taken seriously. People don't think I'm smart enough, and then they always feel like they have to like triple prove what a
Yeah.
male would have to do. So yeah, it's
Yep.
hard. Same thing, I
Yeah.
think, a little bit.
And I feel like women too feel like they have to be, you know, to compete with a man, they have to be like really mean and like, you know, direct and like and I feel like that might be a generation older than me because I feel like my generation is kind of like, let's be chiller. We don't need to like prove ourselves like that.
Right.
But it does trickle down because like, you know, I did have a boss who would scream at me and make me feel less than. And then, you know, it's like I never want to make anyone feel that way. So I don't do that to people who are below me job wise, you know,
Right.
or
And that's
anybody really. I just don't
no,
believe in that.
no, but that also comes. There is a certain amount of people that are more self-aware now, I think, to that and realize that you can't treat. Which I'm hoping that changes the industry. But I still look out and I see my Instagram and it's full of guys just playing guitar and then a girl who has to wear almost like nothing to get seen.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like the girls that I see, there's one girl who's like, she got caught. She's now touring with Machine Gun Kelly. And she was off Instagram and she's like the guitarist for Machine Gun Kelly. I don't know. I think he's a rapper or something. But she's a guitarist, but she got seen because she was wearing she was the sexy girl with the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's so disappointing that in this day and age, it's not her skill set. She's still very skilled, but she has to go and do that to get people
sex
to
appeal.
follow.
It's still there.
Sex appeal. It is. And I think is that something that is ever going to go away, do you feel, in the business? Or do you feel like that's something that we need to work on?
No, I mean, as long as like give me a break. Our world is
right.
You know, if you see a woman naked, everyone's like, oh my God, you know, so it's always going to be a thing. Yeah. Right.
I think it is. And I think that's the whole thing is that there's a balance in it somewhere. Right. Yeah. And I don't know what the answer is because I know that there's plenty of women out there that feel like that they don't want to be seen like that. They don't want to be seen as objects. But that's
they don't have to be.
Right.
You know, you have your own choices. You know, you can be, you know, that kind of person, which I do know those people, and they do well and they're comfortable with themselves, and that's totally fine. And then you've got the ones who aren't, and that's totally fine as well, you know?
Right. And that's what I was thinking. I think you can be both. You can be either or, but I don't think that you have to say that person's wrong for doing that or somebody's right for doing that. I think that you can you can accept either one and say, it's okay. You know, you know, there's guys that go all leather and rock. And then there's other guys that are, you know, t-shirt and jeans blues guitarists. But then there's rock guys that feel like they have to go dress up to be metal, you know, but that's just a choice. And maybe that makes them feel good about what they're doing, or it fits into their genre, or it makes them feel like it fits into their band, what their image is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I think there's a band who I love, and I think she does it well. Like, she's very beautiful, but she's like a killer player as well. And her name is Laura Lee, and she's from Krungbin. And if you don't know that band, they're amazing. James and I saw them live at the Ryman, and she's beautiful, but she plays so well. So, you know, it's like she's got all of it, and people are stoked about that. And the other bandmate, they have their hair. They both have bangs. If you guys know who that is. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I know Bangs, but I don't know who it is. I don't know who the band is.
His name's Mark Spear. Krungbin. It's spelled KHRUANGBIN, and it means airplane. I forget what language it is. I think it's Indian.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They're very talented.
That's what and this is the one thing, Nichole, and this is the one thing that we've been blessed with on this show is to have extremely talented, like we're lucky. I mean, we're lucky we know Nichole, to be honest with you, because the bands that we get on, even though we're like 100 subscribers, we get like amazing musicians on. Like,
I know people need to like share this podcast so we can like get more and more and more and share love with other artists. Like I feel like the world needs to be a little more respectful of musicians and help them out. I don't feel like we have that.
Right.
It's like they're so there and you can get everything you want for free and they're just like, whatever, I don't need to like them. I'll listen to them when I want to. But like really people need to help them in their career. Like you have an option to like help a band grow by like sharing their videos, engaging in their content, like, you know, helping smaller artists too so that they can get a chance. There are so many amazing smaller artists.
And that's what our show has been founded on, because we're a smaller YouTube channel. So we're here to help try to promote that, get some experience with having an interview. But we get these amazing artists and they're all like top notch. We're like, we have never had a bad artist on, and we're just like, I was expecting, I'll be honest with you, I knew that I would get good people with you, but we've gotten some decent people from outside of like just on Instagram.
You did, yeah.
Like when we found I found Mellow Minded just searching through IG, and like I was just looking through bands, and I'm like, they sound pretty cool, like they sound awesome, and that was like one of our videos that got a lot of views because they had posted it on their site or whatever, and for people to check out and stuff, and so I just randomly finding stuff on IG.
Yeah, and just doing exactly what Nichole's saying, promoting new bands that have. It's just, and there's so many good ones out there, and it's not like, because I kept thinking we're gonna get, you know, I don't know who we're gonna get. I thought, but we've never had a bad artist. Like I always think of me, I'm an okay player, but we've had excellent players, like guys that can run circles around me, and you know, it's just such a blessing to be able to have that. Like Dusty, I mean, he's a prime example. He's an amazing guitarist. He also sings. He makes his own songs. And so you're just like, what a amazing blessing to have folks like that on, and then want to come back. Like, you know, it's just crazy to me that I'm like, we're a small, and from what I understand, people say that we're fun to be on, which is fun.
Well, and you do your research, and that's what people love too. They're like, oh, they knew all this stuff about me, and I'm like, yes.
Even what Ellie said, thank you guys for expanding my music even more. I love learning about all these awesome you say, even if I show up late.
Even if what?
If she shows up late.
I know, we're like an hour 20 in.
Oh, we are really late. Oh, shoot, I just keep talking. You know what it is that this is, so everybody, this is my sister. So I don't get a lot of, I mean, she's so busy that we talk throughout the week. Do talk throughout the week, but just a face-to-face conversation. I don't think that I have seen you physically in 10 years.
Over 3 years. No, it has not been 10 years. Maybe it feels 10 years. The last time I was home was 2019, September.
Oh, right. We saw James and you.
Yeah.
Right before you got married, right?
No, I got married in 2017.
Okay, so it was right after.
2018, not 2017.
Okay.
2018.
So yeah. But it's been a while. It's just crazy.
I haven't been home in 3.5 years almost.
I know. But it's okay because we'll just go, things will change. So, but you know, this is the one thing that it's good because, this project has been so much fun because I get to do it with my sister and James, of course. Me and James are really good friends as well.
No, you guys are great hosts, and I'm in the background. I do booking and PR, mostly booking, but we have to work on some PR. But if you guys can help spread the word, it would help, and we'll get more artists.
it would get more artists and a lot more, it'd be, because this is the one cool thing is we have such a versatile audience and a versatile amount of music that come through. We just, like, you never know, any given week we'll have like a folk singer the next week, and then a country singer the next, a rock guy the next. It's so much fun. We've had such a blast, and we get to, we really do listen to the music. We're trying to get in, what are they trying to vibe with, what is their vibe, what is it that I like about them, what is it I don't like about them, which we never really find anything we don't like about them. That's the weirdest thing about it. We're like, oh, I totally go where they're going with it. Like, I was sitting there mellow-minded. They're really great artists. They're kind of like a dreamy indie rock. Absolutely love them. And I'm always like, I always find something good about what they're doing, and I catch on to what they're doing and the vibe they're trying to create,
Right.
Yeah, it's cool. I love that stuff. So, and there's also,
I know,
like,
if people want to give
music.
recommendations. Yeah.
Yeah. We're always happy for recommendations too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you know what? It is 7:30. I think I hear people banging on my bathroom on the door for the closet saying, stop playing. You're supposed to go to the gym, Andy. We're supposed to go to the gym at 7:30. And we're going to let Nichole go to sleep because she was up till 2. So
I know.
thank you guys for coming on in. You guys, we are so blessed to have you on again, Nichole, and it was good to catch up. Any last words, James?
No, it's been fun. Like I said, we definitely appreciated anybody that we've gotten on through you and helping us through, share it out or whatever. And like I said, when we first started, we were like, and getting performances like South of Winter. South of Winter was definitely one of my favorite lives that we had.
They're gonna put out an album again, so we'll have them back on.
Yay! They're one of our favorites.
They just were in the studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're down. They're down to join in. Obviously, they were down to join in, but they were busy on tour and doing shows and stuff. So, but yeah, we definitely want to have them on again.
Yeah, they're like one of those bands where you're like, there's a couple of guys that I'm like, people are gonna know these people. They are going to break eventually, like Dusty. Eventually, that dude's just gonna break because he's just that good. Right. And so you're just like, I'm just waiting for the moment where I can say, I told you guys. I told you that guy was the guy. He's the guy. I told you one of these bands is going to make it. And I told you guys. We're just waiting. It's so much fun. Anyway, we're going to let you go. Any last words, Nichole?
No, but thank you. And please support music.
Yes.
And we will be talking soon. And thanks for coming on in. Next week, we have another amazing guest from my family. Did
she agree? Did she agree yet?
She did. She did agree. So she said she'll be on next week. So my mom, who is a music teacher for 40 years, who has had some of the most impressive people go through her school, Broadway artists, rock artists, theater people, actors. I mean,
all of them.
Yeah, she has stories, and then she also plays guitar. She sings. She was a chorus teacher for 40 years.
30.
Guitar teacher. Guitar, like student of Segovia. So it just like she has so many credentials. She was like the jazz singer that when she got her backups became people.
Yeah,
she was so yeah, she's amazing, and I'm really proud to have her on. So we'll have her on next week, and she'll have some stories for sure. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again, Nikki, and we will see you all soon. Oh, James has to say it.
Oh,
I gotta say it. Say, stay tasty.
That's great.
You guys.
See you guys.
Thanks. Bye.